Welcome to the zombie apocalypse. Hey there, fellow survivors. Bear Grylls here, your friendly neighborhood survival expert. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's both terrifying and strangely fascinating. The zombie apocalypse. Could we, the human race, actually survive a world overrun by flesh-eating ghouls? It's a question that's kept many of us awake at night. Now, I've faced my fair share of danger in the wild, from venomous snakes to sheer cliff faces, but zombies, they're a whole different beast. They're relentless, they're hungry, and they don't care if you're a seasoned survivalist or a city slicker. They're coming for you. So buckle up, grab your survival kits, and let's explore the terrifying, hilarious, and surprisingly thought-provoking world of surviving the undead. Know your enemy. The Walking Dead come in different flavors, just like there are different types of bears. Trust me, I know. There are different types of zombies. And just like you wouldn't approach a grizzly the same way you'd approach a black bear, you need to adjust your tactics depending on the kind of undead you're dealing with. First up, we've got your classic slow-moving zombies. These guys are like the Walking Dead equivalent of a sloth. They're slow, they're lumbering, and they're pretty easy to outrun, as long as you've got a decent pair of running shoes. But don't let their sluggishness fool you. They're still dangerous in large numbers. Then you've got the runners. These guys are like the cheetahs of the zombie world. They're fast, they're agile, and they'll chase you down with relentless energy. Your best bet against these guys: stay in a group, use your surroundings to your advantage, and for goodness sake, don't trip. The point is, knowing what kind of zombie you're dealing with is crucial for survival. Humans fight back, guns, gear, and good old-fashioned teamwork. Now, let's talk about how we, as humans, can fight back against these brain-hungry hordes. Because guess what? We're not going down without a fight. We're resourceful, we're adaptable, and we've got a whole lot of ingenuity on our side. First off, let's talk weapons. Guns are all well and good, but ammo runs out fast. Plus, let's be honest, not all of us are crack shots. That's why it's important to have a variety of weapons in your arsenal, from trusty baseball bats and machetes to more creative options like crossbows and even improvised flamethrowers. But weapons alone won't save us. We need to be smart, we need to be organized, and most importantly, we need to work together. Teamwork is key in any survival situation, but it's especially important in a zombie apocalypse. Remember, there's strength in numbers. Food, glorious food, and water, shelter, the works. Okay, so we've covered how to fight off the undead, but surviving a zombie apocalypse isn't just about fighting, it's about the basics. Food, water, shelter, and all those other things we take for granted in our cushy pre-apocalypse lives. Let's start with the obvious: food and water. When the grocery stores are picked clean and the taps run dry, you're going to need to know how to find sustenance in the wild. That means learning to identify edible plants, finding safe sources of water, and maybe even brushing up on your hunting and trapping skills. Remember that time I ate a live worm on camera? Yeah, that might not seem so appetizing now, but in a zombie apocalypse, you'll be surprised at what you're willing to stomach. Next up, shelter. A roof over your head is crucial for protection from the elements, not to mention those pesky flesh eaters. Abandoned buildings might seem like a good idea, but they can be death traps. You're better off finding a secluded spot in the wilderness and building a makeshift shelter. The key takeaway here is that survival is about more than just fighting zombies. Science to the rescue, finding a cure for the bite. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite zombie apocalypse trope, the cure. Could science actually save the day and find a way to reverse the effects of a zombie bite? Or are we stuck with the whole shoot-'em-in-the-head solution? It's a tricky question. On the one hand, we've made incredible strides in medicine and biotechnology. We've mapped the human genome, we're developing gene editing technologies, and we're constantly making new discoveries about the human body. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that we could find a way to fight off the zombie virus. But on the other hand, we're talking about a fictional virus, one that reanimates the dead and turns them into mindless killing machines. So, while the possibility of a cure is intriguing, it's probably best not to rely on it. Survival of the fittest and the luckiest. So, after all that, could humanity actually survive a zombie apocalypse? The honest answer is, it depends. It depends on the type of zombie, the speed of the outbreak, and most importantly, it depends on us. Survival in a zombie apocalypse, just like in the wilderness, isn't just about physical strength or survival skills. It's about mental fortitude, about adaptability, and yes, about a healthy dose of luck. The ability to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly when everything around you is falling apart. That's what will set you apart from the panicked hordes. So what's the verdict? Can we survive? I believe we can. We're a resilient species, us humans. The importance of community in a zombie apocalypse. One thing's for sure, going it alone in a zombie apocalypse is a recipe for disaster. Remember, humans are social creatures. We rely on each other, we thrive in communities, and frankly, we'd go bonkers if we were left to fend for ourselves for too long. In a world overrun by zombies, having a strong community could be the difference between life and death. A community means more hands to help with the heavy lifting, more brains to come up with strategies, and more importantly, more people to watch your back when the undead come knocking. Think about it. Who would you rather have by your side when you're facing down a horde of flesh eaters? A ragtag group of strangers, each looking out for themselves, or a tight-knit group of friends, family and neighbors, all willing to fight for each other? That's why it's crucial to build strong bonds with the people around you. The psychological impact, fear, and what it does to us. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, fear. Because let's face it, a zombie apocalypse wouldn't just be physically challenging, it would be absolutely terrifying. The constant threat of attack, the loss of loved ones, the sheer uncertainty of it all, it would do a number on even the strongest minds. Fear can be a powerful motivator, but it can also be our undoing. It can cloud our judgment, make us act irrationally, and even turn us against each other. That's why it's crucial to find ways to manage fear and maintain our humanity, even in the face of unimaginable horror. Remember, panic kills. Lessons learned. Could we handle a real-life apocalypse? So, after exploring the ins and outs of a zombie apocalypse, we have to ask ourselves, could we, the human race, actually handle it? Would we band together and overcome adversity, or would we crumble under pressure? The zombie apocalypse, in many ways, is a reflection of our deepest fears and anxieties. It's a worst-case scenario that forces us to confront our own mortality and the fragility of civilization. But it also highlights our resilience, our ingenuity, and our capacity for compassion. So, while we may never have to face down a horde of flesh-eating ghouls, the lessons we learn from the zombie apocalypse can still be applied to our everyday lives. Beyond survival rebuilding civilization from scratch, let's say, for argument's sake, that we do manage to survive the initial onslaught of the zombie apocalypse. What then? What happens after the dust settles, the undead are vanquished, or at least under control, and we're left picking up the pieces of a shattered world? That's when the real work begins. Rebuilding civilization from scratch won't be easy. It will require cooperation on a scale we've never seen before, a willingness to learn from our mistakes, and an unwavering belief in a brighter future. We'll need to find new ways to grow food, generate energy, and communicate with each other. We'll need to establish new forms of government, education, and healthcare. In short, we'll need to reinvent everything from the ground up. It's a daunting task, but it's also an incredibly exciting one. Final thoughts: hope springs eternal, even in a world gone mad. So there you have it. A whirlwind tour of the zombie apocalypse, from the terrifying to the thought-provoking, with a healthy dose of humor sprinkled in for good measure. Could we survive it, maybe? Would it be easy? Absolutely not. But one thing's for sure, as long as there are humans left standing, there's always hope. Because at our core, we're a species that refuses to give up. We're survivors, we're innovators, and we're storytellers. And as long as we have the will to keep fighting, to keep dreaming, and to keep telling our stories, the human spirit will always find a way to endure. So keep your wits about you, your friends close, and never ever give up hope.